with breaking news first. This is News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
KVNU News Time, 5:05. I'm Bill Walter with breaking news out of Smithfield this afternoon. A student was hospitalized after a semi-truck hit a school bus this afternoon in Smithfield. The crash occurred at 100 North Main at around 1:45 p.m. Smithfield City Police Chief Travis Allen said the bus was headed northbound on Main Street and attempting to turn left onto 100 North. The bus driver told officers as the traffic light turned yellow, he proceeded to make the turn. At the same time, the semi-truck that was traveling southbound struck the bus on the passenger side. The bus had 28 occupants on board, including the driver. He was transporting students home from Green Canyon High School when the accident happened. Police and paramedics arrived on scene within a minute of the crash being reported. One student was taken by ambulance to Cache Valley Hospital as a precaution. They reportedly had non-life-threatening injuries. Allen said the semi-truck was carrying a full load, and the driver claimed that they were unable to stop in time. Police are still determining who caused the crash. No citations have been issued pending the completion of the investigation. KVNU News Time is 5:06. KVNU weather for tonight. Mostly clear skies, overnight low in the mid-40s, and then partly cloudy tomorrow. And more showers moving into the picture. Chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. 70% chance. High temperature in the upper 70s. And then rain showers likely Saturday night. Maybe a stray thunderstorm or two. 90% chance Saturday night. Low in the mid-40s before it clears out. Dries up for Sunday. Upper 70s, mostly sunny, but with patchy smoke. It's been to 72 at 72 right now at KVNU. KVNU weather is brought to you by Adams Wealth Advisors. Expect specific guidance from advisors that adhere to principles of honesty, professionalism, and integrity. Visit adamswealthadvisors.com to schedule a time with an advisor today.
Want to improve the look and comfort of your home? See all the possibilities at UNI Furniture. Update your mattress and sleep better tonight on a Therapeutic Queen Comfort Top mattress for $4.99. UNI is also a full-line Maloof dealer. Add a Maloof adjustable base, 4 style choices there. In UNI's dining room section, lots of different brands with something always new to see. One popular set with a table and 4 chairs, $649. And for the family or living room, all kinds of fun new sofa loves and sectionals. If it's in stock or it's in the showroom, it's ready to take home. There's always a better buy at UNI Furniture downtown Logan.
KVNU News Time is 5:08. Utah State University's Hunger Solutions Institute and Create Better Health program is working hand in hand with the Miracle of Agriculture Foundation's Farmers Feeding Utah in quickly responding to challenges faced by families and individuals in the Enoch and Cedar City areas because of recent floods. Matt Hargreaves, spokesman for the group, said the Cache Valley dairy industry and other area products were included in the food boxes. They were distributed on Wednesday. He explained that in keeping with previous Miracle projects, those receiving food stayed in vehicles and had food placed inside their vehicles. The event provided direct food donations to approximately 500 families in Enoch and Cedar City. Donations of beef, pork, milk, cheese, eggs, sweet corn, and other seasonal produce were handed out while the supplies lasted. Farmers Feeding Utah is a campaign of the Miracle of Agriculture Foundation, a 501c3 organization set up as the charitable arm of the Utah Farm Bureau Federation. To date, the Farmers Feeding Utah has provided approximately 1.5 million pounds of food with a retail value of more than $3.4 million to more than 35,000 Utah residents. And the Grand County Sheriff's Office has identified the two women who were found dead in a remote area near Moab on Wednesday. Police say 38-year-old Crystal Turner and 24-year-old Kylan Schulte were shot and killed in the South Mesa area of LaSalle Loop Road. KUTV reports the Sheriff's Office said they are actively following up on leads, but nobody is in custody for killing the women as of yesterday afternoon. KBNU News Time is 5:10. For more details on these and other stories, visit CashValleyDaily.com.
News Talk KVNU, 610 AM at 102.1 FM.
America's infrastructure connects our communities and makes our nation work. These systems are vital to our everyday lives and Utah's economy. That's why Senator Mitt Romney led the way in passing legislation that makes critical investments in Utah's roads, bridges, and electricity systems. Critical investments in the infrastructure that makes America and Utah great. Here's Senator Romney on C-SPAN.
This is the gateway to better roads, better bridges, better water, better broadband into rural communities, and a better economic vitality for our country.
Repairing our roads and bridges, upgrading electrical systems, and increasing access to information systems is good for our families, good for America, and good for our future. Thank you, Senator Romney, for leading the way on a real infrastructure plan that rebuilds America and invests in Utah. Thank you for voting to invest in us. Learn more at let'sinvestinus.com. Paid for by Citizens for Responsible Energy Solutions.
Did you know that if you have rooftop solar and the power goes out, you won't have power? Solar and Battery Backup Solutions has the answer. In partnership with Rocky Mountain Power and their WattSmart Battery Incentive Program, you can take advantage of huge rebates, as much as $3,600. But you must act soon because Rocky Mountain Power is scaling back these huge incentives August 31st. So now is the time to add a sophisticated battery system to an existing solar system or install a new solar system with a battery backup capability. And Solar BBS can finance your new solar system for as little as $49 a month OAC. This means no fears of the zombie apocalypse, EMPs, or wondering how you're going to live with an aging power grid. Sleep much better at night knowing you have residual power stored from solar in powerful batteries. Visit solar-bbs.com for more info. That's solar-bbs.com. Solar and Battery Backup Solutions, your solar and battery solution provider.
Honey, cover your eyes. Now step outside so I can show you your birthday present.
Okay.
Now, open your eyes. Happy birthday, a new car.
Oh, wow, hey, look at the neighbor's shrubs. Did they just have them trimmed and shaved?
Yeah, but the car, it's red, your favorite color.
They trimmed those huge oak trees, too. Look at their...
Honey, the car, do you like it?
Yes, thank you. But I can't believe how good the neighbor's yard looks. It's like something out of a magazine.
Next year, I'm calling Whole Tree Care for your birthday. I'll save a bunch of money, too.
Call Whole Tree Care, 760-6587. Ask about the radio discount for trimming and shaping trees and shrubs. They also do tree and stump removal. Call 760-6587. Serving all of northern Utah and southeast Idaho. Online at wholetreecare.com.
Oh, little piggy! Let me in or I'll blow this building down!
Nice try, Wolfie, but this here building's made from steel.
All right then, here goes! Gosh, that didn't work.
A building from Northern Steel Buildings will keep out the big bad wolf, and they don't break the piggy bank. Visit northernsteelbuildings.com to see their quality work or call 435-677-7300. Northern Steel Buildings. Value from concept to construction.
This is James Stevens with White Pine Funeral Services. We often hear people say, I wish I could use White Pine, but I've already paid for arrangements elsewhere. Know that if you've already pre-planned with a different funeral home, you can still call White Pine. If you are being told you'll lose up to 25% of your money, White Pine will provide a discount equal to any fee for switching. If you have any questions, please stop by for a visit or give us a call. We would love to meet you and explain in more detail.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
I've been thinking, Dad, with all of the rodeos going on, I want a horse.
A horse? One horse? How about 420 horses?
Well, where would we put all those horses?
In the garage, under the hood of a new Chevy Silverado from Hanson Motors.
Oh.
Those are the best kind of horses. Easy to drive, air conditioning, comfortable saddle.
Dad?
Yes.
I still want a horse.
This is Matt Hansen inviting you to consider Hansen Motors in Brigham City for your next car purchase.
Hansen Motors in Brigham City.
So be sure to stay tuned. We'll, as Andy mentioned, be doing some catching up next week as well. And then summer movie season kind of gives us one last few weeks of oomph. So a lot of new stuff to talk about, too. But some of the things we've fallen behind on, The Green Knight playing here in Logan, and Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad. Both of these are rated R. And both of them, I haven't seen them, but from what I understand, both of them earn that R rating, right? This isn't a violence alone kind of R rating.
Yeah, no, I think Suicide Squad is the one that, as much as The Green Knight earns it, it's not, The Green Knight doesn't earn it through language. The Green Knight earns it through, there's some nudity, but it's really, like, you really have to stare hard. You know what I mean? It's not very blatant.
Like you'd have to be looking for it.
Yeah. Going back to that, did you ever see the movie? And I want to talk more about Suicide Squad, so I don't really want to. I could make this. I could make this blow up, but the movie "What Dreams May Come" with Robin Williams. That's a lot. What I feel like I was watching with The Green Knight. It just was. It's so.
That's not good.
I keep using the word trippy. You know what I mean? It's just bizarre,
but trippy in an unfun way. Not like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas trippy.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. I get the very basic concept of the story. Again, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight was not something that I was, that was something that I probably was reading the Cliff Notes on in school. I know there's somebody out there
glued to that plot line.
I know there's someone out there right now that's like, this is blasphemy, possibly, or somebody's like, I don't know what that is, man. But my point is this it has the potential. It's not very. I just don't think. There's certain stories that can be like Arthur legends can, I think, be transcribed through multiple audiences.
Yeah,
this is not feel that way.
I mean, there's been good animated versions Disney has done, the Sword and the Stone, but then there's some great, even that Heath Ledger kind of rom-com,
right? Knight's Tale,
that wasn't horrible.
This is really, you talked about A Ghost Story being an art house film, and I would agree with that. But I would almost say A Ghost Story was a little more consumable for multiple audiences. This, I just don't know. It was, let me just put it this way. There was 4 people in the theater when I saw it.
Two when it was over.
Me and my son Sam, and then 2 people in front of us. The 2 people walked out after the scene in question, about 5 minutes after the scene in question we were talking about. I think they were just like, yeah, no. I don't think it was. I don't think they were. I don't think they were offended. I just think they were like, I don't get what's going on here. And then
a quick tangent. Do you think that's going to increase for a while after 2020? Like, are people going to be like, I have better things to do with my time? Because I've never left a movie in my life.
That's actually a really great question.
Even bad ones.
That's a great question. I've thought about that because I've looked at my movie grades for this year, for 2021, and I seem harsher than I have in years past. I seem less forgiving for material that, to me, is substandard.
It would sort of make sense that there would be an uptick in
I think there
pickiness.
Is. I do, because I think there's a couple things. I think if you're going to the theater, I don't know. For me personally, I used to think that the critics that saw the most movies, there's critics in the Utah Film Critics that see, hundreds and hundreds of movies.
Yeah. Which would make you pickier, I think.
I see a lot of movies, but I bet I'm like, if this was the Olympic medal stand, I'm probably got 1 foot on bronze and 1 foot on silver. Where like my colleagues like Scott Renshaw and Sean Means and a few others, those guys are, definitely they are by far, in a way, the gold medal winners. There's one of the announcers are like, and they have a substantial lead over Morgan. They're actually going for a world record.
Well, and I've always thought this about critics, that one of the reasons they tend to be sometimes keen to poo-poo a movie.
It's because they see so many.
They see so many.
Yeah, that's what I thought,
and
too.
And you get kind of, to where like, I'm not sitting through this. This is horrible.
I'm satiated. I'm not satiated. I'm just so full of movies that, the real bad ones stand out. I've never really taken that. I mean, I think that to some degree, but I've always taken the thought that I'm just a normal person, who has been given a microphone or a keyboard, and I've always felt like it's my job to just be that normal person. Like, I'm not, there are things that I like to share, like, wow, this score was great, or wow, the cinematography was great, things like that. But I'm not talking about like the lens that he used, or whatever. So to my point, going back,
I get what you're saying.
That's what was so surprising. See, because if you look at The Green Knight on Rotten Tomatoes, if we're going to use that as a barometer, The Green Knight on Rotten Tomatoes is got great critics reviews. It's like 88% fresh. But audiences were
and you said it's really visually pleasing.
It is.
It's well filmed and all of that.
I read some clips, some quips from other critics, and I think, am I dumb? You know what I mean? Because I'm like, wow, I missed that point. But no, I would probably watch it again after doing a little bit more research. But here's the point. I probably shouldn't have to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
especially if you're unless you're making a movie for a specific group of people, like, it said, this movie, new from David Lowery, a movie for people who like Old English. Did you like Chaucer?
Well, this movie is for you.
Did you stay up late night during high school every night reading Sir Gawain and the Green Knight? Well,
and there are people who did.
There's a specific multi-million-dollar movie that has been made just for you.
Because those people are out there. But yeah, I tend to. So one of the things I really like most about, we should bring this to Green Knight discussion to a screeching halt. Take our last break, because I want to hear about Suicide Squad. I want to make sure we have time for that. Our first break. This is. Well, again, I hate to say this, Andy, but it's a slow movie week. That doesn't mean there isn't plenty to see. We'll be talking more about Suicide Squad, The Protege. Yeah, that's Samuel L. Jackson playing a assassin named Moody, and this is the story of someone rescued as a child by this assassin. It's rated R, opening in Wogan this weekend. Suicide Squad still playing. Respect, the Aretha Franklin biopic, still playing, almost 3 hours long. Just be prepared for that. Also opening in theaters here in Logan this weekend, Reminiscence, which is, I don't know anything about this. Andy, you said you didn't know anything about this yet, or haven't seen it yet, sorry. And it's Hugh Jackman, Rebecca Ferguson, and some other people that you've probably never heard of. A story of a private investigator of the mind. Yeah. Navigating the darkly alluring world of the past by helping his clients access lost memories. I don't really know what the plot is beyond that, but I know that most of the promos from the production company have mentioned all the actors' previous films more than it talked about the movie itself. Always a great sign. Jungle Cruise still playing. Free Guy with what's-his-face, Ryan Reynolds, and, of course, Black Widow still in theaters here in Logan. There is plenty coming up. I don't mean to be Mr., the movie season is over. It's definitely not, and a few more weeks left still in summer movie season even. But this week, kind of a dull week. Like I say, plenty to see. Just nothing new that really will catch your eye. Plenty to see on streaming services, though. We'll be talking about those as well. And we'll be back with more of the For the People movie show right after this.
All right, Taylor, you got your cowboy hat?
Check.
Horse?
Already saddled.
Horse trailer?
Of course.
What about your boots?
Still got my pink ones.
What about trucks, Taylor? I'm not seeing very many trucks on our lot at West Motor. I don't want to hear back-ordered, postponed, out-of-stock, microchip shortage, or any of that crap. I want to hear something positive.
I can do that.
Hold on to your bootstraps, because it's time for the famous West Motor Rodeo Day sale.
It's no secret that inventory is limited, but the quickest and best way to get your new Ram truck is to have one built especially for you. Get the features you want, the equipment you need, and the right color without paying for anything that you don't want. We'll throw in some big discounts, and Ram will build that truck just the way you like it.
That's what we do around here. We find solutions.
Simply come into West Motor Company in Preston, and we'll get your new Ram truck ordered and send you home with a couple of our famous West Motor Rodeo jackets.
West Motor, how the West was won. WestMotorCompany.com.
Hi there, Congressman Blake Moore here. This August, I'm coming to you. I will be traveling throughout the 1st District hosting in-person town halls, and I'd love for you to join us. I will be in Duchesne, Davis, Summit, Cache, Box Elder, Morgan, and Weber counties. Visit my website at www.blakemore.house.gov and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Rep Blake Moore for times and locations. I look forward to seeing you and addressing your questions. Paid for by official funds authorized by the U.S. House of Representatives.
Attention homeowners, you may have noticed the ground shift after your foundation has been poured, causing your house to sink or settle. Protect your investment from issues before they happen. Polylift concrete raising and piering will stabilize, lift, and eliminate further settling by using Magnum piering products to save you big money down the road. Polylift concrete raising and piering are the foundation lifting experts. Visit poly-lift.com to schedule your free assessment or call or text 435-999-9309. Polylift is locally owned and operated.
Loveland Living Planet Aquarium takes us outside our everyday lives, into a world of discovery. It's a chance to explore our innate curiosity, discover animals from around the world, and experience the all-new outdoor plaza and eco. More to explore at Loveland Living Planet Aquarium. Reserve your visit at thelivingplanet.com.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Looking at some of the films in theaters over the last couple of weeks. We got behind again. So last week, this week, and next week we'll be doing a lot of catch-up. And in a way, that's good timing because there isn't a lot new in theaters, as I mentioned before the break there. The only opening films in Logan this week, The Protege and The Reminiscence, neither one looks great. Andy, I know you didn't see either one, so we'll have reviews next week. We've got Suicide Squad still to talk about, some new developments on that front as far as the box office goes. Also this hour we'll be going through the biggest blockbusters in August throughout history. I'm pretty excited about this because a lot of these movies I'd forgotten about, so we'll be talking about that later on in the hour. Andy, though, can we spend just a little bit of time here again on M. Night Shyamalan? He got famous for a certain thing, a certain style of movie making, the surprise twist ending, and he just keeps doing that again and again and again. So Old is playing here in Logan still. This opened a couple of weeks ago. It hasn't really made any kind of impression. The reviews from audiences and critics are about middle of the road. No one's hating it. No one's loving it. But it gets me thinking about these directors that are known for a certain thing. And after they're known for that certain thing, if they keep doing it, how long does it keep working? How long does it keep drawing audiences? To me, it seems like that is the real challenge for Mr. Shyamalan, trying to, surprise, I did what I always do. It's but his film Old is in theaters here in Logan, rated PG-13.
And it really is old.
Is it old? Is it
at this point?
Does he? Yeah, his shtick is kind of.
He
can't surprise people anymore.
He works up this good credit. You know what I mean? He's like
because he's actually pretty good, don't you think?
No,
I mean, as a director,
he's creative and he's a good storyteller.
I liked Split and the one with the grandkids visiting the grandparents. Those were really good movies.
He had a run going there. He did After Earth with Will Smith and Jaden Smith.
I actually forgot he was involved in that.
Yeah, that's a sad. He had The Happening,
the
The
film
Last
that
Airbender.
Everyone loves to hate.
Yeah, there was 3 dismal hits. They were just terrible. They just In fact, it was funny because with The Happening and then The Last
I forgot
Airbender,
about The Happening, too.
which his name, was sprawled across. Because The Happening's tagline was, "Ooh, this is the first R-rated Shyamalan movie." If you thought
Yeah.
PG-13 Shyamalan
Wait until
could take you
there can be a tiny
to
bit more
new
violence.
heights, wait until this. And the trailer, this was kind of, this was in 2007, I think, 2008, and it was at the dawn of sort of viral social media stuff. And so, that was part of it, was people looking at their, phones going, "Oh my gosh, look at this guy. He jumped into a lion's den." Anyway.
And my experience seeing that movie was a lot like when I saw his other film, The Village, where the first 20 minutes is amazing.
Yes, it
is.
is.
I'm so into it for 20 minutes, and then something's revealed, and I'm like,
Shyamalan, yes.
Really?
And
It's bees, huh?
No, it wasn't bees.
Spoiler alert.
It was just the plant. Yeah, it was. Well, the bees were dying, but they were because the plants were mad. And I'm not
that's
making,
right. The plants were mad.
or
but-
the trees were mad. I'm not making fun of of anything environmental or anything like that. It just
No,
It was one of those
but
things where it was like so underwhelming.
It was hard to find that a compelling villain.
It was
Angry plants.
And so then they're like, "Well, how about you do The Last Airbender?" And like, no offense, but like that movie just is a mess across the board because M.
That
Night
one doesn't even have the good 20 minutes.
No, M. Night Shyamalan is a person of color, and I think for him, that you have this series, and then they're like, "Hey, have we filled our white people quota yet?" You know what I mean? And like this guy, like I'm sure somebody saw the casting go up, and some Asian actor was like, "Yes," and then all of a sudden, they're like, "Hey, I know we have all these good guys over here, but what if we pick Jasper from Twilight?"
Because everybody wanted to see more of him.
Yeah, everyone wanted to see more of that guy. We don't even know where that guy is now. But my point is that was the last movie until he kind of had a little resurgence where really they had his name on the masthead. In fact, After Earth didn't ever say it wasn't like from the director of Sixth Sense. It was just down in the foot. They actually the bottom, the credits were all in the same font size, but the director, they were like, "Let's make that 9 and the rest 12."
People didn't even try to defend Will Smith's son, whose name I forget. Jaden. He tried to defend the movie a bit online, and that didn't go well. And then Will Smith kind of stepped in and basically said, "No, it was bad, son."
And I don't even know, honestly, to M. Night's credit, I don't even know if that's really his fault. I just think it was a bad concept.
I don't think it's as bad as people. These movies come along and they're bad in such a way that they become a movie that's fun to hate.
Yeah.
Like Attack of the Clones.
Right.
I think has become fun to hate at this point. In fact,
I think the prequels just in general.
The cheesiest moment of Attack of the Clones, that exchange between Anakin and Padme in a field, and she's wearing flowers in her hair.
That's a meme now.
It's become a meme where people, so...
Wait, are you saying... no, wait. No, there actually is 2 terrible scenes like that. There's that one in Attack of the Clones, and then there's one of the worst written... Actually, anything with Anakin and Padme, it makes me wonder... I want to call George Lucas...
Love is Blind?
Yeah, I want to call...
Is that the one?
I do. I want to call George Lucas and say...
don't.
Have you ever had a meaningful female relationship?
Dialogue coach. Have you met one?
Well, and I was like, that might have been why it didn't work out. Because if your wife's brushing her hair on the balcony, which with his riches might have been a thing, and you say, "You're so beautiful," and then she's like, "You're so beautiful," like,
and then he says, "No, you are."
What are you saying? Love is blind?
Love has blinded you? And you're supposed to react to this scene like...
You're breaking my heart, Annie.
Like, oh my goodness, they are so in love. But your actual reaction is like, man, I wish they had fast forward buttons in theaters.
I think there are moments in movies where if I was a director, I'm sure when George Lucas was writing the dialogue for that, he was like, "Oh, this is really gonna, and and all his minions, no offense, are so scared.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why. That I'm sure when he showed that and everyone cringed, he was like, "What do you guys think?" And they were like, "Fantastic, George."
I think I've never made a movie, but I've seen a lot of them, and I know a lot of the backstory on the ones that I was excited about that went wrong, because I tend to seek that stuff out when I'm curious what went wrong. Like District 9, how did that go from the cool trailer to the movie we saw? And so I seek that stuff out. And when it comes to that whole scenario with the prequels, I think there's something to be said for there must be a fine line because we've had movies that have been made by committee before.
Yes.
Where they're like 18 writers and directors have been involved in the studio, and the end was calling the shots, and they're bad.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there are movies where one person, like George Lucas or Shyamalan, just kind of make the movie they would make without anyone. There are thousands of people involved, and yet no one at any point turns to these people. Like that scene we were talking about in Attack of the Clones, or the even worse one in Revenge of the Sith, these love story scenes that are important to the story, but they're done so poorly, so clunky, and so cheesy. There was nobody there to turn to George Lucas and say, George, that's bad. That's really bad dialogue. That's really bad writing. The audience is going to chuckle at this, not have the emotional response that anyway. I can tell we're getting down a Star Wars rabbit hole here, so we'll go ahead and just stop that. Coming up, I wanted to highlight this one, Andy. You'll get a kick out of it. The biggest box office winners in Augusts throughout history. Some of these will surprise you. That they were a box office winner in the first place, but also a fun little trip down memory lane in what, again, is a slow movie week, opening here in Cache Valley, alongside Old, Jungle Cruise, Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds, Don't Breathe 2, Black Widow, and Paw Patrol and The Green Knight that have been playing here. Suicide Squad as well. Opening this week, we have The Night House. This is a horror movie about a lakeside home that might be haunted. The Green Knight, Andy just talked about earlier in the hour. Reminiscence is new this week. This is the story of a person, Hugh Jackman, who, quote, navigates the darkly alluring world of the past by helping clients access lost memories. He is a private investigator of the mind. Paw Patrol, the movie, rated G in theaters. Old, that we've been talking about here, in theaters. Jungle Cruise, Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds, Don't Breathe 2, Black Widow. I've mentioned them all already. I'm repeating myself. It's a slow movie week. But next week isn't. The week after isn't. Summer movie season is not over yet. We'll talk about some of that. And, of course, get back to Suicide Squad. So far, the biggest hit of the summer. All of that coming up on the other side of these headlines with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News Time is 5:36. The news brought to you by Cache Valley Pharmacy. And again, as we reported at 5:05, a student was hospitalized after a semi-truck hit a school bus this afternoon in Smithfield. The crash occurred at 100 North Main at around 1:45 p.m. Smithfield City Police Chief Travis Allen said the bus was northbound on Main Street and attempting to turn left onto 100 North. The bus driver told officers as the traffic light turned yellow, he proceeded to make the turn. At the same time, the semi-truck that was traveling southbound struck the bus on the passenger side. The bus had 28 occupants on board, including the driver. He was transporting students home from Green Canyon High School when the accident happened. Police and paramedics arrived on scene within a minute of the crash being reported. One student was taken by ambulance to Cache Valley Hospital as a precaution. They reportedly had non-life-threatening injuries. Allen said the semi-truck was carrying a full load, and the driver claimed that they were unable to stop in time. Police are still determining who caused the crash. No citations have been issued pending the completion of the investigation. And this afternoon, with that accident there, it's caused some traffic backup as the aftermath and the investigation into that accident continued. So still might be seeing some heavy traffic there as you're headed northbound, especially towards Smithfield. Students were evacuated temporarily from Mount Logan Middle School this afternoon. The unplanned clearing of classrooms and school grounds occurred after a reported alarm malfunction. The glitch immediately dispatched firefighters and law enforcement to the school as a precaution. Principal Paul Wagner said the evacuation occurred during the students' lunch break. It was determined that students be held out of the school until a technician could ensure that the building was safe, rather than an unseen risk of fire or smoke within the walls or ceilings. Crews later verified that there was no fire in the building. Wagner said that the school's safety procedures were followed and students were safe and accounted for. They were given time to finish their meals upon re-entry. And the U.S. Department of Agriculture the U.S. Department of Education is warning Utah it could face a federal investigation for laws the legislature passed severely restricting masks in schools. In a letter to Governor Cox and Dr. Sidney Dixon, the superintendent for public instruction for the Utah Board of Education, U.S. Education Secretary Miguel Cardona warned of potential violations of the American Rescue Plan Act, which provided billions to states as they combat COVID-19, including money for safe back-to-school plans. And Salt Lake City's mayor has issued a mask order in the city's schools as the highly contagious Delta variant of the coronavirus spreads. Mayor Erin Mendenhall today said that she used her emergency powers to issue the order. She says she plans to work with health officials to determine when it can be lifted. The order comes a week after the Salt Lake County Council overturned a school mask order that the county's top health official issued. Mendenhall says the majority of council members had privately told her that they feared retaliation and urged her to issue the order. KBNU weather brought to you by Northern Steel Buildings. Contact their Cache Valley team to protect what's yours at northernsteelbuilding.com. Value from concept to construction. Call 435-677-7300. Mostly clear tonight, low in the mid-40s, partly cloudy, chance of rain showers, and a pretty good chance of showers as we go through the afternoon tomorrow, 70% chance. It will be in the upper 70s. Showers Saturday night, but then it clears out for Sunday. And right now it's 73. For the latest news, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
This is Phil with Cache Valley Pharmacy. We love being in Cache Valley and want to thank you for your support. Cache Valley Pharmacy features the best prices in the valley, and as always, free delivery. If you're in the market for prescriptions, check first with Cache Valley Pharmacy for the absolute best prices, especially on compounds and insulin. We've been doing pharmacy better than anyone else in the valley with free delivery valley-wide for the last 19 years. Cache Valley Pharmacy, the pharmacy delivery experts. Order your prescriptions online at CacheValleyPharmacy.com.
Dr. Josh Red, chiropractic physician, explains how Red River Health and Wellness can help you.
A lot of our patients end up having autoimmune conditions. This is where their immune system, rather than attacking bacteria, a virus, or other bad things, it starts to attack their own tissue. This can cause so many different issues and symptoms throughout the whole body. The biggest thing for us at Red River is to identify what's causing the autoimmune response to flare up. This could be intestinal problems, blood sugar imbalances, cortisol defects, hormonal imbalances, along with something as simple as dietary triggers and environmental triggers. One of the most common causes, too, when you have an autoimmune condition is you'll have inflammation throughout the whole body. Not every patient will have the same imbalances or the same triggers, and so we have to customize a very personalized treatment plan in order for these patients to feel better.
Schedule your appointment today at 855-55-RIVER. Red River Health and Wellness with offices in Logan, South Jordan, Springville, and St. George.
Call Red River today.
Thank you for voting Adams Wealth Advisors the gold winner for Best Financial Planner in the Best of Northern Utah competition. Understanding your family, jobs, and goals is how Adams Wealth Advisors will continue to earn your trust.
This is Craig Adams. At Adams Wealth Advisors, we are here to help you receive peace of mind whether you've done a lot of planning or a little planning. Count on our team at Adams Wealth Advisors for honesty, professionalism, and integrity.
Visit AdamsWealthAdvisors.com or call 752-1702 to schedule a time with an advisor today. Please see AdamsWealthAdvisors.com for more information on these recent awards.
Advanced Heating and AC is honored to be named gold medalist for the Best of Northern Utah in the AC HVAC category. They were named silver medalist for place to work and remodeler contractor. They thank you for your votes of confidence in their company. You have many choices when it comes to your home's heating and air conditioning system. Make sure you choose the gold medal winning company, Advanced Heating and AC. Call 752-7272 or stop by their showroom west of DI. Online at advancedheating-ac.com.
Trouble with pain, sleep, or anxiety? Want better health?
Try CBD7, the CBD experts. You simply can't get this water-soluble CBD at grocery, convenience, or health food stores. Water-soluble CBD7 absorbs 15 times better and tastes great. CBD7 has the only clinically proven formula with real measurable results. Many feel better in minutes. CBD7 is not a drug and has no side effects. Other CBDs just can't do all that. Visit CBD7 today. Learn about CBD and try our best for free.
If you're like most local residents, you have a huge influx of creepy crawlers invading your home. Right now, the nasty elm seed beetle is all over northern Utah, but there is a solution. Call Logan Extermination today for a full exterior spray. Their full exterior spray includes foundations and eaves and will kill those nasty spiders, wasps, box elder bugs, and the new nuisance elm seed beetles. And best of all, prices start at only $85. Call Logan Extermination today for details. 752-8450.
Whew. We're back without the music. Sometimes they don't fire those songs.
That's okay.
It's the For the People movie show with Andy Morgan of AndyAtTheMovies.com. I'm most excited about this next segment here.
Suicide Squad?
Yeah, because I haven't had a chance to see this yet. What I've been reading, though, no one's having a middle-of-the-road reaction to this one.
Well,
the trailer has me excited.
It's weird. Audiences are less than critics. Audiences, and again, if you take Rotten Tomatoes as a barometer, let's just put it that way, audiences gave it 83%. Critics gave it 91%. 91% is actually 100% accurate for me. I give it an A minus.
Okay.
The reason I gave it an A minus, I wanted to give it an A, but it's one of those movies where it's just probably about 10 to 15 minutes too long.
Really?
There's something. There was a few areas that could be trimmed, in my opinion. What's really great about this, though, is the way they've set this up with the trailers. You've got this huge. I mean, the Suicide Squad, the David Ayer version from 4 or 5 years ago. I feel bad for David Ayer. He made a movie, and that movie didn't get made. That movie didn't hit the theaters, and so he's fairly defensive about it. And I thought it was a really nice gesture of James Gunn to sort of kill that movie off.
Yeah.
Metaphorically, well, not even metaphorically, quite literally. And then he also gives thanks to David Ayer in the post credits as well, which I thought was really cool. Because I'm sure he feels that pain. I think every director's probably had their work infringed upon by, we'll call them suits.
Yeah. Because it's good. It was, right? It was.
It was. And what's crazy is that the trailer set up this huge cast. Huge cast. I mean, you're like, hey, Pete Davidson's in this? Oh, the guy from Castle, or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? You're like, Sylvester Stallone's in this? I didn't realize this. You'd think I'd pick this up in the trailer. But the guy that plays the, King Shark or whatever, that's Sylvester Stallone. That's him doing the voice. And when you know that, it actually makes it funnier. So if you haven't seen Suicide Squad, when you go into this, I really want you to understand that, it's kind of like Vin Diesel doing the voice of Groot.
Oh, okay.
But Stallone's voice is way more recognizable as King Shark than it is than Vin Diesel is with Groot.
All right.
But it's hilarious. Cool. The highlights of this, honestly, are Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I could watch that all day. She is so funny. I thought John Cena. Talk about a career revitalization. I mean, I don't know.
He's been smart in his choices, I think.
Well, the early 2000s, they brought out The Rock, and they were like, hey, here's this cool new action star, right? And The Rock kind of took that mantle, and he's been carrying it. Yeah. John Cena, they wanted to plug him in there. Like, hey, it's a guy with muscles.
Yeah.
And so they had like movies like The Marine and other things like that, and it just never really took off. And so what I admire about him is that he almost retreated into a different genre. So he really broke out again with Trainwreck, being in a comedy, almost like playing, like almost lampooning himself.
Yeah.
And then he did that in other movies. He did that in Sisters with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. He did it in the movie, wherever the parents are trying to stop their high school kids from, making mistakes on prom night. Anyway, it's just, and now he's brought that back, and he still's got comedy, but he's been in some action movies. He was in the Fast and Furious, You know, I've been really impressed with how he's navigated his career. I have to hand it to him, and his delivery of deadpan, funny lines is just really well done.
He's like you said, he's better at it than The Rock.
And this is, I almost feel like at some point, so you remember the controversy, James Gunn had some, inappropriate tweets that came to light that he was just making fun of some things he shouldn't.
Which we should quickly spell out. This wasn't a Me Too kind of thing.
No,
or anything like that. This was he made some jokes 10 years ago on Twitter.
He made some jokes that made it look like he was making light of pedophilia.
Yeah,
basically. Not that he was agreeing with it; he was just making.
No, he was joking about it, and that's probably inappropriate. But 10 years ago, it probably wasn't.
He apologized. Then Disney was like, Mike Cernovich and a couple other, those folks. I think Jack Prosebiak, those two guys were the
professional protesters, basically.
Right.
I mean, really, that's what they do. This is how they've made their brand.
Right? Yeah, and they were like, cancel. We don't like canceling, but cancel James Gunn. And so James Gunn got fired by Disney off of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And then, a lot of the cast was like, well, that's cool, man. Then we don't want to be in it. And Disney was like, oh, we've really put ourselves into a pickle here. But they had all the Avengers stuff going on, so they're like, let's put this on the back burner for now. So they did.
I think they handled it well.
No, they did. And then I think they reviewed it, and they were like, we were a little too jumpy. And so now, in this meantime, James Gunn, they're like, we want to do another Suicide Squad movie. So DC is like, hey, man, let's grab this guy. And I'm assuming at some point James Gunn said, look, if I'm going to do this, you got to let me do it my way. And he said that
because he'd seen what happened,
and he said, because he's seen what happened to other DC directors. And they said that's cool. And he said, you got to let me be able to kill anybody I want to kill in the movie. And
which is kind of controversial for DC because they're still trying to discover some of that Marvel franchise magic.
Yes, no, and they agreed. And man, oh man, all I got to say is James Gunn really took that to the next level.
Really?
Yes, he did. I can't really go too much into it because it'll spoil it. But basically, this is your trademark James Gunn film. It's got the awesome music. It's just creative shots. The way they do introduce scenes. It's just really, it's twisted in a lot of ways. The reason it is rated R, in case, you're planning on going and you're a little concerned about what might be in it, it's super gory, just right off the bat. A lot of blood, a lot of limbs and shooting, stuff like that. And then there's a lot of swearing and a lot of F words. So, be prepared. This is not the Avengers.
Yeah,
this is the Avengers that your mom doesn't want you to hang out with.
But that sticks to the nature of these characters in this story anyway, right?
Yeah, and then, like I said, it's so great. There's just so many great things about it. But my only criticism is it's just a little long.
2.5 hours.
It is. Yeah, I would say it needed about 15 minutes cut.
And that's not going to happen at this point. But Suicide Squad still playing in theaters here. It started 2 weeks ago, Andy? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And it has been, so far, the biggest moneymaker of the summer movie season. Speaking of that, Andy, forgive me. I'm going to steal some time from you here because I thought this was so cool. Just a little walk down memory lane. Again, a slow movie week. Not a lot of films opening. 2 or 3 new films to go see. None of them that look great. A lot of great stuff still playing, though. Black Widow, Suicide Squad, others. But this was an article I ran across at the famous Scream Queens is the name of it, horror movie site. But this isn't a horror movie list. This is a list of films that made the most money in August throughout the years. And it was just kind of a fun walk down memory lane because first off, I'd forgotten some of these films came out in August, but some examples. Jurassic Park 3 was an August film, not the fan favorite of that trilogy, but the biggest moneymaker of the summer came in August. August traditionally Most of the big, huge blockbusters have come and gone at this point, but August still considered summer movie season, so you still get these big releases. They just don't make as much in August as the films in June and July did. Free Willy was a big August movie, biggest moneymaker of the August it came out. Ghost with Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze. Phenomenon with what's his name? John Travolta. Mask with Jim Carrey. Boys in the Hood. This was an August movie, made huge amounts of money. George of the Jungle with Brendan Fraser. Waterworld. We don't talk about that. Caddyshack. Caddyshack was an August movie, made more money than any movie of that summer when it came out in August. Expected to be kind of a moderate hit, biggest moneymaker of the entire summer that year. An Officer and a Gentleman. It's an old movie. It's actually really good. Prince's Purple Rain. Turner and Hooch with Tom Hanks, a huge August moneymaker. The Mask of Zorro, one of the biggest August moneymakers. A Fish Called Wanda with some Monty Python alumni in it there. And this was probably my favorite, The Blair Witch Project. That was an August movie that ended up making more money than any other movie that year, or that summer movie season, I should say. And finally, this isn't a complete list in any way. You should read the article yourself. It's really fun, and it goes into the details of why these movies ended up being hits, but why they also were released in August, which is sort of the graveyard of summer movie season traditionally, not this year, but traditionally. RoboCop. RoboCop was such a huge hit that the distributors and marketers who decided to push it from June to August lost their jobs because the studio knew it could have been an even bigger hit had it come out in June or July. But RoboCop, the biggest moneymaker of that August, the year it was released. Check it out, full list, courtesy of Scream Queens. This is a horror movie site, but running through a list of movies that made the most money in August, the year they were released. And we'll be back with more of KVN News for the People right after this.
Welcome to Everyone's Metal Store, home to tons of metal products for the DIYer or experienced pros, with a sales staff ready to assist with any type of metal question. Palmer's Metal Mart in Logan is your metal store, no matter the size of your project. With one of the state's best selections of metal products under one roof, you will love the price and selection at Metal Mart. For almost 30 years, for projects big or small, customers have found their home for metal products and extraordinary service to be at Metal Mart. No matter your knowledge of metal products, Metal Mart is here to serve. Give us a call or come into our store in Logan and see why we're everyone's metal store. If you need metal roofing, tubing or pipe, sheet metal, angle iron, purlins or rebar, call Palmer's Metal Mart today. When it comes to metal, just remember Palmer's Metal Mart, everyone's metal store. It's that simple. Visit us online at palmersmetalmart.com or in Logan, just east of the airport. Steel, service, and savings. See you soon.
Hi, this is Drew Allen with Allen Mortuaries. Over the years, thousands of families have planned ahead with Allen Mortuaries. Planning ahead helps you make informed and thoughtful decisions. It also spares your family the stress of making these decisions under the pressure of time and strong emotions. Allen Mortuaries' secure pre-need trust plan can save you nearly 40% versus other plans. Keep it simple, safe, and secure. Go with the proven choice, Allen Mortuaries. Voted best funeral home in Cache Valley in northern Utah. Allen Mortuaries. Then, now, always.
It's back to school time. You're getting the clothes and the supplies, but don't forget the haircut. The students at New Horizons Beauty College are trained in all the latest trends and techniques. Plus, New Horizons has great prices on the products to help you maintain that new look, like Redken, Matrix, Biolage, and Bricado. All services performed by students and closely supervised by licensed instructors. Oh, hey, they're also enrolling for fall classes right now. Create your own individuality at New Horizons Beauty College in Logan.
If you're in charge of hiring a company for commercial janitorial services for your building, call American Maintenance. For reliable cleaning of your business, American Maintenance is your simple solution. Curb-to-curb services, American Maintenance has you covered. For commercial janitorial services, American Maintenance. Call 512-0014. That's 512-0014.
Hey, John Weiss here from Heritage Auto in Logan, Tremont, and Brigham City. Let's celebrate these last few warm days together and have you swing by and pick up a 2021 summer souvenir, a Ram truck from Heritage Auto. The Make This Summer sales event is still on, but you've got to act fast. Take home a 2021 Ram 1500 with low 1.9% APR financing for 60 months and no monthly payment for the first 90 days. Come to Heritage Auto, your hometown dealer with the biggest deals.
Heritage Auto Group. Heritage.
It's what drives our future.
Jessup Insurance and Retirement Services. Let us guide you.
Jessup Insurance has a local office with professionals that understand all the Medicare plans available to Utah and Idaho citizens. They simply make Medicare understandable at no additional cost. Call Jessup Insurance 435-213-3200 or Google Jessup Insurance.
Jessup Insurance and Retirement Services. Let us guide you.
Hi, I'm Chuck Canterbury, President of the Fraternal Order of Police. We're working hard with dozens of local businesses to prevent underage drinking in your community. For more information on local Respect 21 programs, visit FOP.net.
Stimulating talk you want. Information and news you need. News Talk KVNU Logan, 610 AM.